And welcome to episode 330 of Crashing Game Night. My name is Matt Diorio, your host, as always, joined by the beanie one, Gerard Barrera.
What's up, all you nerds out there? Wow, we're getting up there in episodes. That's awesome.
Yeah, we are.
Cool. Welcome, guys. Let's. We got a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, we do. So we got the babyface one, Theo Wolski.
Up, yo. I feel like if we're at 330, probably by New Year, we'll hit episode 365. So and then it will take an entire year to listen to an episode once per day.
Wow.
Well, here's the thing: is we'll be taking a couple weeks off here and there, especially with the move happening.
Yeah.
But we are sans the maitre d' services. Jason is unable to make it tonight.
Marital responsibilities.
Yeah. So before we kind of get into it, real quick, with Collector's Corner really quick, I did get them. And we'll just exit the one.
Oh, nice.
Two.
Very cool.
Three.
There you go. He's my favorite.
And four.
Sick.
Nice.
Yep. So I said I wasn't gonna get them, but then I was like, fuck it.
I still have to pick mine up.
So
Oh, you pre-ordered them?
Yeah.
Nice.
anyways, so let's get to this because we've got a bit to talk about tonight. Being that we had State of Play, we had
Summer Game Fest,
and we had the Xbox Showcase.
Yep.
There was also, I'm not entirely sure you guys caught it, but the Future Game Show as well.
Dude, there was so much going on. So I
didn't catch that either.
There was Day of the Devs, there was indie stuff, there was a whole bunch of different ones. We're gonna go with the big three. Right. So with that, let's kind of get into this.
Wah, wah, wah.
Let me.
That was depressing.
That was a little foreshadowing for you.
That's
A
depressing.
little foreshadowing, huh? Anyways,
It doesn't make sense. Your smile brings joy, but your voice brings depression.
That's right.
all right.
It's deceiving.
So we're gonna start off with the State of Play.
But this is purely directed to the State of Play, though. So the foreshadowing for the State of Play.
Okay. So
Way to remove the mystery.
because there was so much that they all announced and stuff, I went high level, grabbed the big stuff. Okay.
Gotcha.
So anyways, State of Play started things off on Wednesday, June 4th. So we got some of the big announcements. They started off with Lumens Arise, which I got a very much a Tetris Connect feel out of it. Just the way it was presented, the music. I never played Lumens, but it just kind of felt like the same team, but it wasn't. But that did Tetris Connect, did Lumens Arise. It looks beautiful. So I think for anybody that is a huge Lumens fan, they're gonna be happy, I think, with that game from the look, the feel, and whatnot for it. You had Pragmata, which looks really, really cool.
First Deceiver.
Yeah.
I got hyped after this. This looked great. This looks like it's going to be a fun, scary game in space, like a legit, almost Resident Evil like, in space. So yeah, this and check out the trailer because it was cool.
I have so just kind of the way the trailer and they're portraying her. Why do I have a feeling she's going to turn out to be like a Chucky doll or Megan, where she's like the one that's fucking?
I think that's
shit.
a pretty accurate.
Well, yeah. I mean, even based on the trailer, she's mechanical.
Based off the
she's an
artwork,
android.
too.
Yeah.
She just feels like she's the.
That was something's, but yeah, I think that might be the twist. Something's more than meets the eye, obviously. So like,
yeah.
No, it was a cool trailer, definitely.
Yep.
But the biggest thing for me was that this is an original game coming out.
Oh, absolutely.
Totally cool. Let's check it out and give it a chance.
Yeah, and that's the thing is we saw a lot of kind of original titles out of all of it, right? And even with some of the smaller indie titles, some are taking a lot of risks. But we also saw a lot of games, case in point, launching in 2026. There was some that were launching this year, but there was a lot out of all three that are launching in 2026. So then we also had Silent Hill F launching in September. I'm not a big Silent Hill fan. However, the fans of Silent Hill,
I appreciate the franchise. I've played the first one. That was it for me. That's that is farther
it
than
scared you out of playing, huh?
No joke. Like no joke. That's why I appreciate the franchise. Like it is when it's done well. Silent Hill, I think, is like the top of like it will jump scare you and like
oh yeah,
have you continue going on because the story is interesting. So I'm glad they're going kind of back to all of that. But yeah, I played the first one. I got through it, and that's like over the hill of like horror games for me. Like that's why I stick. Resident Evil is kind of the franchise I stick with, and that's pretty much my wheelhouse.
Well, I appreciate I appreciate what Silent Hill has brought to that genre for gaming, right? And it's had its ups and downs.
It's only appropriate that they're going to like the Japanese or like Asian, like because their lore is just as horrifying and scary. It's going to be a perfect venue, for the next game, and I'm excited to watch some playthroughs. But I will not.
Yeah, I'm not playing it. Anyways,
I won't do anything.
So one that I am going to be getting, and one that I am absolutely going to play through, is this.
Oh, immediately, thought of you too.
So
that's going to be cool.
We're going to share the trailer.
And also, really quick, are you going to try and get the collectors?
It's sold out already.
I'm sorry. Bummer.
Anyways.
Father,
damn.
Abandon not your wayward children of Ivalice, but deliver us from our sins, that we might.
Oops. My bad. There we go. Sorry, I was adjusting the volume. I was adjusting the volume.
It's all right.
There we go.
Actually, so far it actually does looks really good.
Did you ever play Tactics?
Abandon not your wayward
I played it on the advance.
So no, I haven't. Once again, this is one of the games that I believe I watched my brother play, and once it was also.
Why do you fight? Why walk this path of subterfuge and conflict?
The powerful must rule the weak. It is our duty. Heavens fall upon your crown.
This vile charade has gone on long enough.
It looks gorgeous.
Yeah. And I think in the
Do you remember when your father showed us how to
Sorry, I don't want to
of a blade of grass?
You're gonna get classic and enhanced mode, which is awesome.
Okay, cool. Because I was gonna mention this. I believe in the post interview, they were showing a tech demo that how you can switch from the classic view to the new view.
Correct.
Where, that's really cool. That's
and the
cool
classic view. So the new view
is the updated graphics. The characters have been retouched. I think audio and voice acting is like added, like dialogue.
Oh, that's cool.
So when you look at it, right? So as it says here on the slide, both versions are included, but you get the classic version unites the graphics and gameplay of the original with the renowned War of the Lions translation, which is what came out later on the Vita and the DS and everything. It was the upgraded, enhanced story, everything. Now, if you go with the enhanced version, it features a new interface, extensive, additions, adjustments to the story, fully voiced dialogue, which we didn't have in the original. It was no voice acting whatsoever, and more. And you can kind of tell. So if you look at the two differences in the screenshots, right? Back in the classic days, you did not know who was up. Whereas now,
I also played the class. My first rendition was on advanced, but I also played on PS1.
Yeah. So even then we all play classic, right? So if you look at the
Yeah.
enhanced mode now, you get to see who's next up.
That's awesome.
You know,
Oh, sweet.
who in your crew,
Well,
who in the enemies, and everything.
You
which
could
is
see
great.
who's next up on the original. It's just that you had to pull it up. You had to cycle through your
Yeah.
players for your turn.
Yeah. So this one is now it's like kind of like turn based a little bit with RTS and all that. So you're gonna see who's all up. So honestly, I can't wait. I would have absolutely bought the collector's edition. That thing is sold out, 100%. And that statue is pretty of Ramza. Not gonna lie, but I know somebody who has already gotten it. You know, a soldier has already secured.
Oh,
his,
no way.
his collector's
Impressive.
Oh,
Attaboy.
pretty
As
good.
you should.
Nice, man. Keep the tradition going. That's
What was
the
all special about
tradition.
the collector's edition?
Collector's edition. You got a statue of Ramza. A couple other things. Let me pull it up. It's more for the.
It was definitely a fan made for the fans.
As it should be.
As well, yeah, as the collectors should be, but yeah, I think like the items themselves, I think they were rather good along with the statue.
No offense,
Yeah.
Jerry, but I'm glad you're not in marketing. You're not a very good sell.
No. So,
Well, I mean,
anyways,
I know. Well,
Gotta
So-
expand that vocab,
everything
dude.
it is, yeah, everything it is, yeah.
all right. So then we got this announcement.
You're not wrong.
So fans of
Shit.
Mortal Kombat.
We knew pretty early on that the game was fun to play. People were excited about it.
The most rewarding part of it is just.
It's also hard because I don't really know the items that were included in it. I saw a quick
We knew
picture
that
of
we
it.
were
That's
onto
also why.
something.
You're so.
Also means you didn't do your homework.
To see this game.
Okay.
It's like I can't believe
Also
this game
true.
exists.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
It became something that added to the mystique of Mortal Kombat.
Oh, it's part of the zeitgeist.
Part
It's
of a
part of the
world
generation.
that's much
Like it's
larger.
generational.
There was no template to make the games.
It's so insane
It's a bit
how
of the Wild West.
quickly that
Every part of that game is an
not only the
expression
game but the
of
characters
who we
became
were and
so
what we wanted to
popular.
do.
They became generational. As, like it growing as big as like the Turtles
Oh, yeah.
or He-Man or like now they got their own cartoons. They're in that trajectory of staying in like that entertainment history. So Mortal Kombat has truly
Yeah, and
gone quite far.
yeah, and I think you look at the history behind it too, right? It's the reason we have the E ESRB.
Yeah, that's why it's generated. It started a few,
Yeah.
things that haven't been there before, like parental advisory and all of that. That was pretty funny.
So I posed
There's
a question
blood.
to you guys. I don't know if you're on the same boat as me, but I'm personally getting tired of these money grabs to bring out legacy games. Like, what I can understand re-releasing a game, older game, to just get more people interested into the franchise.
Mhm.
But why do we need this money grab? Why can't this be on one like PlayStation's service for that everybody signs up now anyways in order to play classic games, PS3 games, PS4 games, whatever, or just like Nintendo does it right with they include it in their online subscription that they have the Game Boy Advance games, N64 and stuff. Why do we need these re-releases packaged to where it's another price? Like this is going to be another $60 minimum. How do you feel about it?
Jinx. Just kidding. No, go ahead, Matt.
See, some of these classic games and stuff like that haven't been released since they've in a bundle, right? But at the same point though, I think you could easily put it into a subscription and you'd be fine with it. But again, you got to think about the people that don't do subscriptions like PlayStation Plus and all that. This gives them an opportunity to play it. But I mean, some of these games, I get it. It's Mortal Kombat, it's history, but at the same time is how many times you have to go back to the well? You know, kind of like you're talking about. I think in some cases, some of these bundles are money grabs, right? You look at, you know, hey, say it, the Castlevania collection. That's the one that jumps to mind, right? You could, you know, easily put like, especially since a lot of those were Nintendo games, instead of putting it on a paid for bundle, right? You could have easily put those out on Switch Online, right? Because Castlevania 4 is a huge title for the Switch or for the SNES in its infancy, right? But it's missing from Switch Online because they decided to bundle it. And they did a full price for all the games, right? And some of the other games I don't really care about. So they're bundling games into it that you may not necessarily care about as well.
Right.
So,
as well as the target audience is going to be people that are familiar with the franchise for the most part anyways. Like, yeah, it can introduce the newer generation into what
but the mechanics,
what makes Mortal Kombat. But
hence,
I mean, like,
hence why I agree with you guys that it is a cash grab, but also, but the flip side of it is what you just said, Theo, is for those fans and for them to introduce it to the new, up and coming fans. I only say this because I believe this is going to be
warrant paying for it though.
No, but I think the reason why we're going to see physical and the reason why we're going to see why we're going to have to pay for these compilation bundles all in ones, I think are going to start becoming like somewhat the new norm, at least every console. One of them is going to come out a year for at least one console, or like I think when the PS6 comes out, we're going to see a slew of these come out throughout a few years.
I think case in point, what's the like a great example of it is look what they're doing with Last of Us. You know how many times?
Yeah,
we
to a
have
degree,
to
absolutely. But they're doing like enhanced version and all of that.
Yeah,
these compilations, like I think they're only going to come out with like once or twice within the console, lifespan. But I think this is the norm that we're going to see are more of those bundles and compilations.
Yeah.
To keep only because I think the numbers are there, and purely from a business standpoint, the fans are still gonna kind of cling to it.
Oh, they'll still get them.
Yeah,
the fans will still get them, but
so I think purely because of that, we'll see them again. But are they necessary? No, I don't think so. I think you're right. If you're paying for part of the streaming service, if you have them all there,
just
you're
put
gonna
it out. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. But and then I would only argue like for the small like physical market for those people who want to get physical, also just distribute that. But I also know that's a big ask.
Right. All right.
I know. I understand.
Let's do Project Defiant.
And oh yeah, this was dope too. I mean, finally, they came out with something else.
I feel like if you were so far behind for so long, just stay behind.
Yep. So we're getting a fighting stick from PlayStation. They haven't released a price point, a date, or anything yet. It was just say, "Hey, here it is."
I think it's stupid that they're doing that. It's such a focused marketplace for those kinds of controllers that there are specifications that people look for or using it competitively at the very least.
Mhm.
So I feel like that's going to do dog shit. Nobody's gonna buy
absolutely.
it because
Absolutely.
I guarantee you they're gonna have the
Because
wrong type of
you're
buttons.
absolutely right. Because
They're
they'll
not-
buy the.
There's a
probably
lot
going to
of-
go for Bluetooth, so it's not responsive enough or fast enough.
It is wireless, so we'll have to see
yeah,
how
Because
it.
they usually go wired, or even
It
those
ain't going to be
like
competitive
Super A
whatsoever.
customizable
We'll see,
ones.
though.
Yeah,
I
I've seen
mean,
those, but we'll see.
We'll see because they are using their tech, right, for the communications between the PS5. However, I mean, you've got Fight Sticks out there already, so the price point's going to have to be competitive. You can't just say, well, because we're slapping PlayStation on it, it's going to be the next great thing from Fight Sticks. They're going to have to compete.
I'm just saying,
So-
I understand they need variety. It's about time.
Yeah.
I was kind of expecting that.
So, yep. So we got an Astrobot announcement later this month. We're getting 5 new challenge areas.
Sweet.
With a bunch of new bots, including the main character from Ghost of
Ghost of
Yotai.
Yotai. Yeah, that was cool.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
they are also going to be releasing a new Astrobot controller later this year.
Oh yeah.
The design looked cool, so we'll, I will probably try and snag that one because I didn't get the first one. Then we also saw an extended trailer for Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater coming August 28th. It looks like they also incorporated some Ape Escape into it, which was kind of weird for
No,
Metal
not
Gear?
necessarily. There's always been kind of a small collab throughout the years with that game and that.
Yep. So, anyways, and then we got this Marvel.
I mean,
took
cool,
in
but
Fighting Souls. However, what this really feels like is kind of like the spiritual successor to a Marvel versus Capcom.
yeah. I mean, it does look great.
It does look great, and it's coming from PlayStation Studios, which is it's interesting. Their choice of characters, though, it's like, could you have done better? I mean, yeah, you've got Captain America, you've got Iron Man.
Well, the other thing is like depending
Marvel.
on how many characters they have available to them, they're gonna slow play
Yeah,
like the next reveals, the next characters coming out.
yes.
Yeah. But I must say, interesting starting lineup. Yes.
But it feels very much Marvel versus Capcom.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And honestly, ups to Sony. I gotta say, the animation and like the look, I'm down.
Oh, yeah.
It really does look cool.
This has Evo written all over it.
Yeah. I was actually, I was wondering about Jason's opinion on this, if you saw it.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
The fact is
4
4v4.
on 4.
Yeah.
Damn, yo. You can choose 4 characters.
I'm impressed that they fit Miss Marvel into this.
That's what I mean. Like, the lineup's interesting.
Yep, and it'll be coming out on the Epic Store and Steam Store, so it'll be going right to PC as well on launch.
Sweet.
Again, when we talk about their exclusives, they're putting them out on the PC Store, but not sending them over to Xbox, which we're going to talk about Xbox a little bit later. But Xbox is starting to bring their stuff to PlayStation. They don't care anymore. And I think it's time. Just let it go, PlayStation. Just let it go. So overall, from what PlayStation had to offer during the state of play,
That was the state of play,
honestly,
guys.
that was the highlight. That was the
That was
highlight.
that was the state of
There-
play.
Jesus,
Essentially.
that's sad.
It was. I would give it a very like a C plus.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's generous.
elephant in the room. Like, not only I think what we were hoping to see, but I definitely know a lot of fans were speculating around YouTube. You know,
I mean, they
being
talked about
really
Yotai,
disappointing,
right?
Yeah, Yotai,
And-
but
they're
that
like,
was
oh
more of
wait,
an
it's
announcement
coming.
again. It's
you
coming.
know, it's coming.
The
They did.
gameplay trailer's coming, but I think the biggest disappointment was to see at least some sort of news about Wolverine from Insomniac.
Correct.
And-
we did get we
no.
did get First Light. 007 First Light, which looked cool.
Also,
but
like, I mean,
honestly, though, overall, though,
okay,
for me, it was a C plus.
yeah,
As much as we're all fans of PlayStation and Nintendo and stuff like that, I give them a C plus.
that was
Maybe
rough.
B minus. Maybe you know what? Final
I wouldn't
Fantasy.
even, no, I would say
Final
C.
Fantasy
I give
Tactics
him a
could-
D minus.
Ooh.
I think it's closer
I'm-
around that
I'm
to like a C
interested to
minus,
see
D minus.
then-
New original things look disappointing, and everything else was really a re-release
Yeah.
or unneeded.
However,
Yeah.
I will say this though, Final Fantasy Tactics, this is something people have been asking for the last 3 console
and
generations.
that's why it got a D. That's the only real good thing, other than
but it's still a re-release. That
it's
is
still a
needed.
re-release. That's true.
Oh, I will. But here's the thing: is when you look at it, though, the last time it was released, you had Vita, Advance. That was it. Like,
So it could
So-
still be in one of the subscription series.
Yeah,
they don't have a Vita subscription service
or
yet.
PlayStation Online.
However, let me put it this way: Final Fantasy Tactics, that would not be enough for me to buy a PlayStation Plus subscription just to play it.
But
So
you're-
for me,
so-
the ability
but
to
you
buy
are
it
willing to spend probably $60 on a re-release game.
in a one shot, yes.
And now you understand why the physical buy the physical.
I would think potentially $60 over a year would be better than $60 up front.
No, because then I don't have to keep
because
spending
we own
100.
it.
Well, but here's the thing though, is because with
Yeah.
PlayStation Plus to get the classics and stuff, you're already, depending on which section they put it in, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're already looking what 100 to 120 at that point. Because we pay like 60 for a year for PlayStation Plus for the essentials, right? So you're already looking at $100. So I'm going to be spending $40 a year just to play one game. Yeah, I'd rather just here's my money. Then I can play it literally whenever I want to. I don't have to worry about
I'm
having
insane. I just want the physical.
Yeah, I know. So let's okay, so we talked about so I gave PlayStation Plus a C, or PlayStation State of Play rather a C plus. Boys gave it a D. So let's move on over to Summer Game Fest. That's going to be interesting too to see what everybody rates this at, because it had a lot of
Bar's already set low for me.
It's already set low. So they did do a 5-minute clip of the CGI cutscene from Death Stranding 2. Later on the 8th, they did an actual game premiere where they had the stars of the game there with Hideo Kojima and Jeff Keighley. I didn't get a chance to watch that. The game's coming out June 26th. I know there's tons of fans of the original Death Stranding. They cannot wait for Death Stranding 2.
I have it pre-ordered.
Yep. We figured you would.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so then other highlights, you had Scott Pilgrim EX, which is launching in 2026.
That looked awesome.
And that looked awesome. The first one's great. I
Yeah.
own it on a couple of different systems. So then you had Sonic Racing Crossworlds
Damn.
coming out
Look at that collector's
9/25.
edition.
This is their collector's edition.
Dang.
And I will zoom in for the folks at home. So I couldn't find a price point for it. But they did say the collector's edition is
$3.99.
it's only available from June 6th till July 6th.
That's my guess. Like $3.99.
I'm guessing probably be like $199, $249, somewhere in there, but you're getting a steelbook of the game, you're getting
Oh, okay. Maybe
the statue.
Yeah, maybe one.
You know, some postcards. I'm thinking
$199.
ballpark at $249, but you know,
That's okay.
It looks
You have
cool.
to be a Sonic fan.
It's got a lot of it's got more than just Sonic in it, right? It's got Joker from Persona, a whole bunch of other characters. So Sega's really thrown down the gauntlet towards Mario Kart, which is not the open world and how to unlock things is not getting great reviews right now.
Overall, it's just not doing well.
It's not doing well right now. Like
what about your opinions on the actual Switch 2 itself? What have you been hearing?
So,
they have a price point.
Honestly, so one of the things is we all know Trish Hirschberg, past guest, part of CNGen family. She put out a little video and she was saying, you know what, if you've already got the Switch, it's not necessarily something you have to go out and get right now. It's a premium piece of tech, but you don't necessarily have to go around out and get it right now. And I'm not running out to go get it right now. For that price point at $500, you know, that's another PS4 or PS5 rather for my house.
I will say
honestly,
though, the destruction and like breaking videos are
now here's
quite annoying and just seems very wasteful. But
yeah, dude, no. But I think the other thing is that
those are the only things that kind of like
$10 walkthrough game requires you to buy the mic. It requires you to have a Pro controller or the charging grip.
And
as well.
that's it. Are you required to buy it or that's
no?
If
you don't
want
have to buy it. It's
okay,
only if you want to.
Then yeah, screw that. No,
you know.
But that's also ridiculous.
So everybody wants an interactive instruction manual,
right?
Astro's Playroom was fucking awesome, though.
Yes,
but that was free and that was a lot of fun. And
it was an instruction manual without being an instruction manual.
Yeah,
though.
True. So I got a price point for the collector's edition if you want to take a guess.
Ooh. I'm still ballparking like $249.
I'll stick with $199.
I'm gonna go $249.
Matt's got it. It's $249.99.
Damn. All right.
Now the one thing that was the highlight of Summer Game Fest was the fact is they were talking about the 30th anniversary of Resident Evil. And to think about it, it's been 30 years since I saw the original Resident Evil on my friend's PS1 and how absolutely freaky that was. We got this.
Yeah.
Now,
if I gathered this correctly, is this like years after Village? That's the daughter.
No, it's Ashcroft's daughter. Ashcroft was the manor, the house.
Oh dang! It goes that far back.
Ashcroft
was
Village.
It is in Village, but the manor, like Shinra Manor, is like Ashcroft was involved with it.
Right.
So,
I think it's before that. I have to go back and like re go over the history.
Grace.
I have to say
Grace Ashcroft.
Yes?
Capcom really kills it with their cinemas.
Oh,
now they're suggesting that Leon is the actual protagonist. That's the theory going online right now.
Well, so far I'm getting major iZombie vibes right now.
this is about the report you asked for yesterday. It'll be ready.
That's
Well, I'll tell you, it's iZombie right now, dude.
Put a hold on that for now.
You
found another body.
totally nailed it.
One that exhibits the same pathology as the others we've been investigating.
So I wonder if if that's
Mining
true, I
good
wonder if you're
technical
going to be
analysis.
playing as an older Leon.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I need your eyes on the crime scene.
Yeah, but how much older? He was already in his
The Remino
20s.
cell.
So Grace Ashcroft is Alyssa's daughter.
I
Who's
know.
Alyssa?
That's where your mother was.
Who
What
she's
game?
talking about right there. Yeah.
Alyssa died 8 years ago.
Perhaps it's time for you to.
Alyssa
Face the
was in
past.
which game?
I'm figuring that out right now.
Grace.
Oh, Resident Evil Outbreak.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Alexia. Yeah, so that's yeah. I was thinking it's Ashford, not Ashcroft, because Ashford is the villain from Code Veronica.
Stay close.
Ashcroft was an investigative journalist who started digging in an umbrella in 1993 when she learned about rumors that a company was bribing a hospital to test drugs on patients.
You're the one that I've been searching for.
So,
One, chosen one. Miss Ashcroft.
Investigating all these strange deaths, huh?
We need to keep our voices down.
Have you seen the same shit I've seen?
so she is in
So you're
Raccoon City.
you're returning to Raccoon City.
Yeah, she's in. Alyssa was in Raccoon City during RE2 and 3, and escaped from the city before it blew up. And Alyssa dies during the events of 7.
Damn. Nice.
Now, as long as that's not, and that's coming out February 27th. Now, as long as that's not first person, I'd play it. I'm not a fan of the first person Resident Evils.
The only one that I've really been okay with is Village.
Yeah. So let's go back to
Or actually,
let's talk-
and the one before that too. Sorry.
So Summer Game Fest. Overall, I would have put Summer Game Fest at a C- or a D+. It was.
Wow,
I thought it was
impressed.
worse.
I'm surprised that you're considering it worse than.
I thought it was worse than State of
Sony
Play
Direct.
because I was doing others because it wasn't the way they packaged in some indie titles and stuff like that was just like, hey, we're doing it just because. And there wasn't anything really big. There was no truly groundbreaking announcements from Summer Game Fest. And the fact that Jeff Keighley has tried to position it as a as a step up and replacement for E3, this one last year's was great. Like you had a lot of really good announcements out of it. This year, not a lot of big stuff.
I'd say a C.
I mean,
know,
Summer Game Fest is still rather limited. E3 in its prime had every freaking major production company in it.
correct.
So
So
I don't know. I also give it a D-. I'm not impressed. I'm also gonna put it out there. My hot take of recent games is I absolutely hate the most recent CGI, including for Requiem and Death Stranding 2. My primary gripe
Why?
is there is too much damn focus on individual strands of hair. It looks like shit for one.
Come on.
And then it takes away from the performance of the game. There's too much damn focus on individual strands of hair that you can see.
Come on, we want to see that luscious beard of Kratos.
I want to see better, more realistic monsters than the wavy hair that doesn't move the way it's supposed to.
I think that's the problem, right? Is games becoming like they talk about games being so high end budget that they're having to cancel projects because they're just too costly, i.e. Titanfall 3, we all kind of knew it was rumored to be canceled, but they kind of officially said it is canceled.
Bummer.
They're putting so much emphasis in how these character models look, like every strand of hair, and you're starting to lose what makes a game. You're starting to lose some of the stories, some of the gameplay mechanics, because you're putting all of your investment into hair. So to that point, I could
Making it
absolutely
look pretty.
Making it look pretty. So,
but they don't succeed at making it look pretty. That's the sad part.
So
the hair still looks like shit.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's talk Xbox Game Showcase. This one was big. There was a ton of stuff that they announced from all sorts of different studios and stuff like that. Fortunately, I had to pick just the high level ones. So Outer Worlds 2, they had a direct
We knew that was
afterwards.
coming. Yeah.
It's officially coming October 29th. And this is coming from Obsidian, who has had a long history of great games like that because they're the ones who did New Vegas. Um, shock for everybody, High on Life 2 coming this winter.
Totally down.
I'm actually totally down for both of them. I saw some clips of Outer Worlds too. That looks.
I want to
good.
see a little bit more on Outer Worlds.
Did you see the thing about creaky knees on Outer Worlds too?
No.
So, on a stealthy aspect, you can sneak up and kill people by being silent. However, creaky knees is that once you get up from crouch, you hear your knees crack, and every character around can hear you.
What?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's cool.
that was actually a pretty good selling point.
That's a funny, crazy detail.
Um,
That's pretty funny.
So, and then
High
we
on
got
Life, I'm totally down. That's awesome.
And then we got
oh my
this.
gosh. Did
So-
somebody kind of predict this?
It's been rumored for the better part of 6 months now that they've been working on this.
Next thing you know, there's going to be an Xbox that's just purely a PC. With this,
That's the next Xbox is it's going to have Steam and everything plugged into it as well.
Yep.
So
that's what this is.
For this being their next move, this makes sense, especially if they're putting it all on Game Pass.
No, they're including Steam. I mean, it's still an ROG Ally.
yes, but it's specifically designed with the Xbox interfaces.
But
and
it's
stuff now.
and it comes from Xbox. It comes from Microsoft.
Well, I heard
it makes sense
that
they
it's
would
not
make one of their own.
exclusively to their interface. That is a feature, just like Steam's interface is featured, but you still have a full Windows on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, we're just saying that this comes from the Xbox, the company,
Side of the house.
Yeah, they have to put their stamp, their version of it out.
The fact that it's got Silkscon on it is driving people crazy right now.
So, based on the specs, what would you guys? Because this is beyond me. So,
okay, so
Well, I mean, ROG Ally, I should say Steam Deck in comparison. Steam Deck came out at 600. ROG Ally, I believe, base comes out at 450. I think.
the common guess right now is $799 for the Ally, and then
you mean
a lot of people are saying
as in price
point? They're saying
Holy
this could be
shit.
$799 for the
Probably.
base and roughly $9 for the
Well,
Ally
because
X.
and I will point out in the video that I saw when they were talking about the specs, the reporter or influencer, whatever you want to call him, messed up. He said for the base one for the Xbox Ally that it came with 512 megabytes of memory.
Not
No,
megabytes.
because he did get it right with the Ally X that it comes with a terabyte. I'm pretty
Yeah.
damn sure you're not going to be doing 512 megabytes because one, you can't fit an operating system on that anymore.
Right.
It has to be 512 gigs. But the specs are relatively close to each other, just kind of depending on what you're doing. The CPU is, I wouldn't say a huge jump. It is more of a power draw, so will help with games. Not dramatically in my opinion. But the primary thing that I believe that I've heard about issues with this is that everything with respects to hardware is soldered, so you cannot upgrade ever.
Yeah.
that it's fixed. Okay.
And that's the thing is so I'm pulling up the specs really quick on
Interesting that they're highlighting Silk Touch.
Silk Song? Yeah, dude, people are
Yeah.
pissed about that right now because everyone's been waiting for it.
And
And
I've
it's
been waiting
like-
for it, and there's
All right.
no release date for a long
Correct.
time.
All right, so here we go. So the operating system on the Ally X and the Ally is a Windows 11 Home Edition.
Yep.
So you're looking at the processors, right? We're kind of looking at that. You've got, the Ally X is running the Ryzen AI Z2 Extreme. The other one's using a Z2A. The display is a 7-inch FHD 1080p IPS 500 nit 16:9 with 120 hertz refresh.
That's on par with Switch 2.
Yep. So here's the thing is, so if you look at the Ally X, it's going to have one USB 4 Type C with DisplayPort 2.1 on it. It's going to have one USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type C with DisplayPort 2.1, and then it is going to have a micro SD card reader on it as well. If you look at the standard Ally, it is two USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type C with DisplayPort 1.4, and then it'll have an SD card on it. They're both using Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.4. Battery wise, the battery on the Ally X is a 80 watt and it's 64 watt hour. And then the standard one is 60. Included is the console, the charger, and a stand. That's it.
Cool. So that's interesting. So out of my experience, I would actually almost not recommend the USB 4, so the Ally X, unless you are coming prepared with the knowledge of what cables you have. Because otherwise people will get really frustrated and probably put in a 3.2 and put it into a display port and be curious why it's not working. That's going to be why.
Yes.
Because you have to have a USB 4 compatible cable.
Now, that said, though, I applaud Xbox for going this route, especially the fact that they're trying to do that play anywhere.
I'm glad they didn't try to do it themselves. I'm glad that they partnered.
Yes. Yeah, and the ROG allies to begin with have been a really good partner for Xbox anyways, because they've had the Xbox store on them, right? So now you're getting the full interface, you're getting it more that actual Xbox feel that you would from like a console. So you know what, good for them. I saw somebody.
I'm guess when I saw this, I just wasn't surprised. Like I understand that they need to put their hat in, and
I have this quick small test for both of you. What does ROG stand for?
I don't know.
What is the what?
Clue.
ROG?
What does ROG stand for?
I don't know.
Ready on the go?
No. It's a good try.
Nice try though.
It's specific to Asus. It's Republic of Gamers.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
Now a lot of people have been saying though that this, for the people that got hands on with this at the event, we're saying that this does feel heavy in your hands after a while, and it does get hot.
Really?
All of them do.
Yep.
Steam Deck, ROG Ally, Legion.
Switch even does, depending on which Switch you're running. So anyway, so let's move on. So we've got Ninja Gaiden 4 straight up launching October 21st. It looks gorgeous, typical.
Looks great.
You know I'm going to be challenging you to that.
I will never play that game.
I'm not. Jerry, thought about you with this. Indiana Jones is getting its first DLC, The Order of Giants. It is coming out September.
Can't wait to go back.
4th.
Can't wait to get back into it.
All right, so you've got an internal studio. I don't remember which one's working on this, but it's Clockwork Revolution.
This looked interesting.
Dude, this game looks awesome.
Yeah,
like steampunk, like 1840s,
almost BioShock.
Yeah, that's what popped to my mind was BioShock 3.
Everybody's been comparing it to like BioShock meets Order 1886. just from
Ooh,
just the steampunk
good
and the feel.
Yeah.
And I agree with it.
It
And
looks
honestly,
cool. Yeah.
that is a game I would like to play. It looked really cool, and just like some of the intricacies of the game and the story, it looked really good. So, you also had Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4
Already got this
coming
pre-ordered
out
too.
July 11th, and for those Xbox fans, the demo is already available.
Another re-release.
I'll take it.
This is yet another game that people have been craving. You know, they just decide not to make a sequel. So, and then you got this
And then
bad boy
Next one pre-ordered.
coming
Yes,
out
baby.
August 26th, and this will be coming to Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah, give it to me. This is also true. This is I would say this really paved the way for the cover and shoot and the cover and or
Cover and shoot. Okay, I can give you that.
Things have changed. Welcome back to the army, soldier.
I would also say the first of or also paved the way for like the reload kind of mini game or the precise reloading.
Oh yeah.
Looks like they upgraded. Nausea, baby. Let's do this.
This is gonna be awesome.
Form up!
Now, the one thing I want to applaud, another thing for Xbox, is that every single game that they showcased was showing off that's coming out, you know, that actually has dates and everything, was showing off what platforms it was coming out on. Whether that was series, it was PC, cloud, PS5, whatever it was, but they were showing off what platforms they were showing on, you know, they were going to come out on. And I think that's huge for transparency. It's like you don't have to go searching for it. They're just saying it's going to be on PS5. It's going to be on Series X. So, you know, this is yet another thing that Xbox, I think, did right during their showcase. You had Persona 4 Revival, which is the remake of Persona 4. It was shown off. Launch dates to be determined. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is coming to Xbox in winter of 25. Cool. And then they fucking shadow dropped Final Fantasy 16. And it is available now on the Xbox. And what makes this even more monumental is there's now more Final Fantasy games on the Xbox platform than there is PlayStation.
Really?
Wow.
And the biggest reason why is Xbox is home currently right now. And this is, I wish Square would just bring out a port for it for PlayStation, but Final Fantasy 13, 13-2, and Lightning Returns are all on Xbox.
Oh, wow.
So right there, you have more games.
There you go.
Adding those into the mix. So, Square, I need you to bring out Final Fantasy 13. Port that, please. To just you don't even need to mess with anything on the graphics. Just port it. Make it a PS5 version. Bring it out. Because there's a bunch of us that would cough up the money for it. All right. and then finally, to end the show.
Oh, Jesus.
Welcome to the Guild. We have been expecting you.
Please, follow me.
I was more excited at who they casted for the commercial and the the front of the box than the actual game.
With our skilled team.
Because of who it actually look. I don't know if they've actually purely casted him or not for it, but it looks a lot like
from This Is Us. That has to be him.
No. Dude, save the cheerleader, save the world.
Exactly. Heroes
in action.
Yeah.
Bro,
Heroes.
Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore
Girls all the way.
Even further deeper in it. Yeah.
Bro, on.
Wasn't he Jesse?
We
Yeah.
have been bound
Yes.
by outdated systems, accepting limitations instead of redefining them.
Oh my God.
The Guild is safeguarding tomorrow, now. We are pioneering the future of protection worldwide.
Oh, didn't he play Rocky's son too?
Are designed to
Yeah.
elevate
Yes.
In like in one or two movies.
Milo Ventimiglia.
Yeah.
He is not listed as like being part of the game or anything so far, so
if I can rent it, I will. I always like playing. I really do like playing the campaigns. They're fun, but I mean, I won't. I'm definitely not going to buy this for the online. Like, I still have all of my CODs because the Modern Warfares, those campaigns, I still play. They were awesome. But I'm not gonna lie, this does look interesting.
Fear is a powerful thing. David Mason.
That certainly doesn't sound like him.
Not at all.
I mean, I'm totally down to play the campaign, but I'm not going to buy the game. That's going to be a Black Friday purchase.
yeah, I don't have anybody listed on IMDb yet for this, so
I just like that they put 9 Inch Nails into their trailer.
Oh, nice.
So overall, for me, I give the Xbox Showcase a solid B for all the different announcements and everything. For me personally,
C plus.
I'm
but
gonna go in between
overall,
here. I'm going to say B minus.
overall, though, I think out of the three, the Xbox Showcase was the best, hands down.
Agreed.
I would agree. It was the stronger one. Yeah.
And you know what? I think, Xbox is doing the work. Like, they've got a lot to come back from.
And you're not wrong there. They really are. Like, not only
But like South
you're
of
right,
Midnight
they're
is getting
they're
huge
putting in the work,
reviews, and
but they're also, like you said, they're being very transparent to what games are going to PS5. They're not hiding it in any way. And they're being open about their announcements. So like Gears of War is a big one. Everything that it's coming on, they announced it, and that's cool.
Phil Spencer, give me Halo on PS5. But that being said,
And
though,
apparently that's
like,
coming. So
I mean, it's rumored at
hopefully.
this point,
Yeah.
and I would hope that, maybe Fable will come to the PS5, but I think,
oh my god,
Re-release.
I
Please.
would,
But you're also not wrong, Theo. They're all re-releases. And,
All I'm gonna say-
that's
no,
yeah.
Fable's a
Literally.
complete reboot
No,
of the
Halo.
franchise.
Halo.
Oh, Halo? Yeah, but it's Halo.
But it's a re-release.
yeah,
It's Halo.
It's more money grabs.
It's
yeah.
Master Chief.
And that's why, dude. Like, we.
Here's the thing, though,
I
is
can't
continue
complain.
to
I can't talk about it.
But it's
I'm
never been
one of those
we live
people
in this
who will buy
era
it.
where everybody is all about money with the
But-
least amount of effort.
But it's never been released on PlayStation. So it's giving PlayStation only people a chance to experience Halo.
Mm.
So for me, I think it's about time. It'd be like,
It's a decent
honestly,
argument, but
it'd be
you
like
know,
releasing
you're not wrong. It's a giant cash
Uncharted.
grab.
It'd be like releasing all the Uncharted's onto Xbox.
Yeah, but once again, on the flip side, would that not be like a cash grab? I mean, come on. That's why. That's why, man. You don't argue it. Can't fight it.
Embrace it.
I'm part of it. I'm embracing it. I'm one of them that will buy. You hit a certain game or a niche game that I have talked about that I love. Obviously, that we love. We will buy it. We're one of them. I don't care.
And I personally, outside of Infinite, right? I love the Halo franchise. It is one of those, like, Halo and Forza for me are the franchises from Xbox that I love the most.
That was the first game I got when I got my Xbox at Christmas. I played Halo.
I remember
with the General.
No, the
controller,
Duke.
The Duke.
It was
Thank
the
you.
Duke.
I keep forgetting that. The Duke controller. We're like,
Anchor.
this goddamn thing is huge, but this game is badass. Like, I'll never forget my first play. It was so great.
We wouldn't have gotten Red versus Blue if it hadn't been for Halo.
Yeah.
Love Red versus Blue. So, overall though, Xbox was great. Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, they are doing great things with Xbox, and you know what? It's when you look at Xbox versus PlayStation. Let's take Nintendo out of the mix because Nintendo's just going to be Nintendo. But when you take PlayStation versus Xbox, Xbox is starting to do things the right way. They're starting to do things for the players versus PlayStation is abandoning what has made PlayStation so great in my eyes, right? And that all they're doing is let's re-release Last of Us and Last of Us Part 2 for the 1800th time. You want to talk about cash grabs? That's crash grab. You know, they're going for live service games versus, storytelling games. I'm sure the studios are cooking up something. We know it's rumored that Sony Santa Monica is working on a God of War that is in Egypt. At this point, you're starting to follow Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
I
feel like Sony has lost their eye for a good game.
Yeah, I don't think they've abandoned their anything to a degree, but I do feel that they've lost their way and they're stuck.
only either passing up on good games that are indies or they're not seeing good games like the ones that we saw for State of Play. Those are dog shit. Or they're just sticking to what they know has already worked.
Yes.
So they're in a rut. It's needless to say. They're in
And
a
I think
routine,
part of that was
and
Jim Ryan.
They're not doing anything about it.
They put their money into Jim Ryan instead of Sean Layden, and look what happened.
Yeah.
And then Jim Ryan left, and then they decided to put, Herman Hulst, which love Herman Hulst from being at Gorilla, right? But they put him in charge of one side. They put the platform guy in charge of third party and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got two people running, too many cooks in the kitchen now, as it would go.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, yes, Final Fantasy was an exclusive, but now look, it's over on Xbox now. Like, it's everywhere. So honestly, they've really lost their way. And yes, they struck a little bit of gold with Helldivers, right? But overall, what is PlayStation Studios even doing? We know Insomniac is working on Wolverine. We haven't seen anything of that in well over a year now at this point.
I think more than 2.
3.
Almost 2 years. I would say it's probably about 2 years, give or take. But
it's close to 3.
All it was a teaser trailer, right? Here's Wolverine in a bar.
We didn't even see his face in the teaser.
We have not heard anything. And we've talked about some things that have happened behind the scenes over there, and it's like, it's at this point, yes, Intergalactic's coming from Naughty Dog. I think that has the potential to be really great. From the look of it, it's new from Naughty Dog. We don't know what Bend is even working on, other than they came out with a Days Gone remaster You know,
it was digitally digital only.
You know, but what I'm saying is though is what's Ben working on? Like,
Yeah.
you know, all these powerhouse studios that they have as part of PlayStation family, and then they're not working on anything. You look at Xbox during their showcase, you kind of know what their major players are working on right now. You know, we know
Yeah.
the initiative's got, you know, you've got Perfect Dark coming, which looks absolutely amazing. And that's coming from playing the original Perfect Dark.
Also throwing it out there, still waiting on any news on Beyond Good and Evil. Still
That's
waiting on
Ubisoft.
that. Please.
That's and that's been like 5 years.
I know.
That's been longer than that.
Probably
That's been
longer
like,
than that, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's still in the whispers, but yeah, I mean, give it something.
Yeah. Overall though, you know, like I said, Xbox won it for me this past week. I was thoroughly impressed with the job that the Xbox team did. You know, Aaron Greenberg and Matt Booty, Sarah Bond,
they definitely had the
Phil
strongest.
Spencer.
Yeah.
You know, and the moves that they're making, right? And the games they're starting to come out with, and they're a variety too. They're not just sitting in a first-person shooter world anymore. They're actually coming out with a lot of variety from their different studios. Heck, you had Double Fine, you know, makers of Psychonauts is going out on, you know, making
and Brutal Legend. Bring that back,
you know,
baby.
And you know, they're making a game about a lighthouse. You like, but it's like it's Double Fine, so you know it's one of those ones that like it's probably going to be good. I just think that, like I said, Xbox is making the moves, and it's one that I have to take notice now as a PlayStation and Nintendo fan. Still, I was an Xbox fan at one point, you know, during the 360 era, and you know, we all know what happened with the Xbox One, you know, and Matrick and whatnot. They're making me take notice and make me look at, you know, yes, the last couple of times I've picked up an Xbox, it's been like there's been nothing there. But now you've got, you know, South of Midnight, Fable's coming. You've got,
I want to play that.
for me, Halo and Forza,
yeah.
and, you know, Clockwork, you know, Revolution's coming out. Like, overall, like, I know Theo with having a PC could pretty much just play them all anyways, but, you know, some of us on a console side, you know, we got to think about things. So, we go back to looking at a Switch for $500. You know, I could almost get a Series X for, you know, I'd spend a little bit more, get a Series X. But overall, well done, Xbox. Tip of the hat to everybody at the Xbox team for this. So
yeah, definitely the stronger performance.
So for those that were just hanging out in chat, catch us during the, you know, the presentation and whatnot. Thank you for crashing Game Night with us tonight. If you like what you heard, please drop us a follow here on Twitch or head on over to crashinggamenight.com and drop us a follow on the platform of your choice. Right now, my usual closing carries more weight. And I want to throw out my thoughts to those that are in LA right now. Jerry, you're pretty darn close to that right now. I mean, yeah, you're a little ways from downtown and stuff like that, but the areas that it's happening in, we've driven through,
yeah,
you know, and been in, and you know, the things that are happening,
walked around and explored, and
yep. So for me, you know, when I say be excellent to each other, it absolutely has to come into play right now. Like, we have to be excellent to each other. We kind of have to, you know, hopefully it doesn't get worse, you know, in the area and whatnot. And the Reddit seems to be getting ramped up. So just folks, just please be excellent to each other. And I'm going to go back to my old OG closing and stay frosty.
That's right, everyone, all you nerds out there. You know, we want to send out that same message. Everyone, you do you. You guys be you. Be your original selves. Also, you know, Matt brought it up. You know, it is pretty crazy in LA right now, regardless of how you feel about the situation, or if people have started out peaceful, regardless, be safe and try and talk it out. But overall, just everyone just be safe. If you see a situation that you can de-escalate, please be safe about it. Try and lend out a hand. Try and help. Overall, I think this is just another example of us. Let's just try to do and be better, and try to be civil. But above all, everyone, please be safe. And stay cool and be okay. And then I want to take Jason's because this is what I enjoy.
For it.
So next to come to my man, Theo Walski. To you, baby.
You had me until you said the second one.
It's okay. I make it my own. As I said, I stick to it.
Hey, he does that better.
You're finding your niche. You haven't found it yet.
He subs better for Jason than he does for you.
As I said, I make it my own.
But we appreciate you all out there. Until next time, TTFN, ta for now.
Good night, everybody.
Be safe.